Welcome to RIT Talk. We're here to raise awareness about mental health. One way of doing that is to talk about it, and that's what we're going to do. Have a great day, don't quit, and keep pushing forward.
Okay, today, there we go. Today, we're going to talk with Cole. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Cole Hatfield. From Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I run with a little fire company called Lancaster Township. I'm 19 years old. I just graduated 2 years ago, so I'm still a baby. I grew up from the time I could walk till now. I grew up within multiple different fire companies. Just about everybody I know of in my family has ran in the fire company at some point in time.
Okay.
So by the time I got to this age, it wasn't a matter of if he's going to do it. It was a matter of when he was going to do it, kind of sort of thing.
Okay. So what I know you grew up in the fire service, but other than that, did something draw you to it? Because usually, sometimes families are embedded in certain industries, and some kids just go total opposite. So was there something that drew you to this field specifically?
I definitely want to say it was just kind of like the line of work that it is. Like, I would go to like burn days with my dad down at the training center, and you'd sit there and watch as a kid as like they open the second floor window and there's fire rolling out and they're just standing there and you're like, man, that looks so cool. When I grow up, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to experience that. And then again, at the same time, like they would have like schools and stuff come to the firehouse, or you'd just be standing at the firehouse with your dad, and like little kids would show up and they'd let him put on the fire helmet, and just the smile that you would get off that little kid, just knowing that you made his day is definitely another big driving factor for me.
Okay. What would one thing or what's one thing that you think would help with firefighter mental health or help improve firefighter mental health?
Um, that's it's a very big question nowadays in the fire service. So it's hard to say you don't think about it because you definitely do.
Yeah.
But at least I know something. Yet again, I grew up with a bunch of firefighters in my family, and I know that like the dinner table talk, like you're at Thanksgiving or you're just having a family dinner, and it was just nice because they could all sit there and talk about something that happened yesterday, a call they ran on a week ago, and everybody kind of like they understood and they were all on the same page. But then again, at the same time, like if something really bad happened, everybody was there for you at the same time, and it kind of felt like you were no longer in it alone because everybody else that was sitting there at the table with you may not have experienced the same thing, but they've experienced something in their time in the service that they could relate to that in a way. And just being able to get it off your chest, at least from personal experience, if you see something, just being able to like get it off your chest and not feeling like you have to sit there and hold it in all the time is definitely a good factor. Being able to talk to somebody and just saying how it made you feel,
Okay.
and then just kind of, that's the way I want to put this, just kind of like asking questions to them about like certain situations, or even just getting another person's insight on like how they deal with things, how they go about things, like stuff like that. Really, to me at least, growing up and even now that I'm in the fire service has been something that's really helped out in those kind of situations.
I agree. I agree. It does help. Just even having those other people that are able to relate because,
Yep.
at the firehouse, you could talk to people who are firefighters.
Yep.
I agree with you. How long have you been volunteer now, firefighter?
So I'll say officially I've been with Lancaster Township for it'll be about 2 years in a month or two.
Okay.
And then obviously I'd go to calls all the time with like my grandpa and stuff like that as a kid, just sitting there
Okay.
along the in the fire or in his personal vehicle, just sitting there.
Just hanging out. Oh, that's
Yep,
cool.
got to play with the lights.
So we'll take the time that you were officially in the service
No.
on your own. Is there something that surprised you up to that point, up to this point right now, that you didn't really expect? Because you've like you said, you've kind of been around it your whole life. Is there something that you would say surprised you?
Definitely like people's willingness to learn and people's drive to learn new things. You hear it all the time that we're us as firefighters, we have to learn new things constantly. There's
Mhm.
new ways to get into a door. There's new ways to get into a window. And you hear that, and I don't want to say it's like white noise, but it's just kind of like you hear it all the time. It's like a broken record playing over and over again. And then once you actually get into it and you realize like it may sound like a broken record, but at the end of the day, it's very important for us. And some things you just don't see is you have people spending every weekend at the firehouse training on something new, working on learning something new, or working on a new thing to make getting into a door just a second quicker. And it's something you don't realize until you're there, kind of thing. Um,
Okay.
and it's like you see some people's motivation, at least in a volunteer aspect. You have some people have all the motivation in the world, and then on the other spectrum, they have motivation, but it's not as much motivation as the next person. And sometimes you just kind of, at least myself, I just wonder, like, what is it that, what's the factor that drives this person so much, but at the same time, this person is not as motivated.
Hmm.
It's just like I guess what I'm trying to get at here is like, there's so many different people, different like types of people in the fire service, that not one firefighter is alike. You're all alike in one way, but at the end of the day, like there's nobody that is exactly like somebody else.
Mhm.
And I
Okay.
think that's very beneficial for the entire fire service.
I agree. I agree. All right. Is there something else or anything else you'd like to add?
Um, I mean, I don't think so. I think that's it for me, boss.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you for having me here.